Kalos, where dreams and adventures begin!
Okay, so for some reason that I'm still unaware of, the games X and Y had this weird need to call back to Generation 1, and I guess the anime is following suit as the theme song here is a remix of the original Pokémon theme. I don't like it.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Out of all the themes, the Pokemon theme did not need a remix. Honestly, they should have just played the original as it was instead of this weird, shortened version.
Pokémon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. Pokémon, I know it's my destiny. Pokémon.
The series begins with Ash arriving in Kalos at Lumiose City, and when Alexa says her sister, who is a gym leader, is away, she recommends he try the gym in Lumiose. But Ash is kicked out since he doesn't have a Kalos badge yet. That's when Ash meets a trainer Clement and his Emoto, Bonnie. After Ash finds out Team Rocket followed him, of course, with the return of the real brains, Wobbuffet. Since Ash doesn't have any other Pokemon, all hope seems lost until a Froakie who was watching the battle comes to save the day. But it gets injured, so Bonnie suggests taking it to Professor Sycamore, ending the episode. Also, similar to the theme song being the original, Team Rocket's motto is also back to being the original one they did, word for word.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all people within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Lumiose City Pursuit.
Arriving at Sycamore's lab, Ash and the newbies get Sycamore to look at Froakie, and he tells them that it's actually been returned multiple times by trainers who choose it as its starter. Then we learn about Mega Evolution, but Pikachu doesn't have one, so we barely see it. Team Rocket wants to see it though, and after trying to steal the professor's Garchomp, it starts rampaging. Ash of course attempts to save it on top of Lumiose Tower, a scene so big it gets broadcast on the news. That's when a girl named Serena watches the broadcast and seems to recognize Ash. Ash manages to free the Garchomp thanks to Pikachu, Froakie, and a Mega Evolved Blaziken who saves him along with its masked trainer. The day after, Ash is ready to leave for Santaloon City for his first gym, but the Froakie shows up with its Pokeball, and Ash now has his first Kalos Pokemon. And as far as season openers go, it was fine. There's not much else to say about it.
A battle of aerial mobility.
So we see that girl Serena from the last episode is a new trainer who has just left on her journey. Then back with Ash, after registering for the Kalos League, Clement and Bonnie ask if they can journey with him, as Clement seems to be really inspired by Ash's bravery to rescue Garchomp, and I guess he can't leave Bonnie home with his dad. Better reason than Iris, I guess. They then come across a Dedenne, which Bonnie wants Clement to catch for her since she's too young to own Pokemon. But a Fletchling scares it away, and Ash ends up catching that Fletchling instead. Then James manages to catch an Inkay for himself. Cool.
A shockingly cheeky friendship.
The trio encounter that wild Dedenne again, and Clement manages to catch it this time for Bonnie. Meanwhile, Serena chooses Fennekin as her starter and begins her own journey. I don't know why we keep cutting to her though, when she's not really doing anything, but I guess it'll pay off eventually.
A blustery Santaloon gym battle.
Oh my god, I thought that said Blussy. Ash makes it to Santaloon City to fight Viola, Alexa's sister, who's also there. Anyways, Ash fights her and loses. Come on dude, you've done this like 5 times now, get it together. But during the battle, Serena arrives, and the episode ends with her asking if Ash remembers her. Oh yeah, remember epic Brock humor? Well, to replace that, I guess, this episode introduces a new joke in that style. When a waifu appears, Bonnie then tries to get them to marry Clement, much to his embarrassment. I mean, it's okay, nothing will ever be as annoying as Max, but it's also not as funny as Krogunk. It's just a mid-running joke.
Battling on thin ice.
So it turns out Ash and Serena met at summer camp, way back in Kanto. But Ash does not remember her. Smooth, bud. After some training, Ash manages to beat Viola this time, and the group are about to leave for Silage City for the next gym, when Ash asks Serena where she's going, and she doesn't know.
Wing, it's covered with ice.
No, how can this be?
Whoa, that was a dynamic angle. In giving chase at the Rhyhorn race, Ash finally remembers Serena, where he helped her by treating a wound she got with his handkerchief. And she kept it this whole time and returned it to him. I'm not the only one who finds that kind of weird, right? Then the group run into a Rhyhorn race, and Serena gives them all tips and tricks since her mom was a Rhyhorn racer. Then, after Rocket, Serena, despite not having a goal, joins the trio on the journey. Great, another foursome. And grooming Furfro, the group help a waifu form a bond with its Furfro. Nothing to do with the episode, I just love the new Officer Jenny design. That's my aesthetic.
The Wobbuffet! The haunting, silky smile look. The flowing perm.
Clement's got a secret!
On their way to Silage City, the gang returned to Lumios, where Ash and Serena learned Clement is actually the leader of the gym there. The gym was taking too much of his time, so he made a robot to do the gym battles for him so he can go be a nerd. But the robot is strong and sticks to the rules too much, one of them being you need 4 badges to challenge the gym, and Clement does not have 4 badges, so he got kicked out of his own gym. But Clement grows a pair and manages to beat the Clembot and get his gym back, reprogramming it to not be so anal. Then Clement and Bonnie get approval from their dad to go on a journey with Ash and Serena. That's when Ash says he will go by the original requirement and challenge the gym when he has 4 badges, and he wants to battle Clement when it happens, and the two agree.
Mega Meowth Madness!
After stopping another Team Rocket scheme at Professor Sycamore's lab, Clement is rewarded with a chest spin. Also, we find out that masked guy before with the Blaziken is Clement and Bonnie's dad. Okay.
Prepare for trouble! I'd say you bad people have finally met your match! And make it a double crook catch to protect the thieves!
Copyright infringement!
In the bamboozling forest, so it's another one of those Pokemon are separated with Meowth and everyone but Pikachu trusts him. I feel we've seen this one a bit too often. Also, Jessie gets a Pumpkaboo. And to catch a Pokemon smuggler, the gang try to perform a citizen's arrest on a Pokemon smuggler trying to steal some bug types. If it's not Hunter J back from the dead, I don't care. In Kindergarten Chaos, it's another one of those they help out at a kindergarten or school and there's some kid with an issue. Another episode I feel like we've seen a lot of. Here are some fun facts about this episode. This is the anime debut of the new fairy type. It's also the episode in the anime with the most animation errors. Epic. In Seeking Shelter from the Storm, it's another ghost episode. Well, the one causing it is a psychic type, but it's basically a ghost episode. In An Appetite for Battle, Chespin gets too dummy thick. In a Jolting Switcheroo, Bonnie accidentally takes a bag similar to hers at a Pokemon Center, and the bag had Dedenne, so now she has someone else's Pichu. Oh no, will she ever see Dedenne again? Yes.
A rush of ninja wisdom!
Okay, this episode nothing particularly interesting happens. Ash and friends meet a ninja Sanpei and his Frogadier who trains with Ash and his Froakie. Why this episode is important is, well, you'll see. In Awakening the Sleeping Giant, to wake up a Snorlax, the gang go fight a spoiled princess to get her Pokeflute, because I don't remember the reason.
Aren't we forgetting something?
Huh?
Clement?
It was horrible.
What happened to all your clothes?
Oh, I can't look! A conspiracy to conquer!
So this one's kinda interesting. When Jessie and James are mysteriously hypnotized by a woman named Madam X and her Malamar, Meowth has to team up with the Twerps to save them. What's more, the Malamar then takes Pikachu too, and when trying to save him, even Serena, Clement, and Bonnie get hypnotized. But if you remember the ending, or the middle of the ending to Black and White, friendship beats mind control, and thanks to a Clement invention, the Malamar is defeated, and it's revealed Madam X was an Officer Jenny who was also under Malamar's spell. That's when they all found out the Malamar was trying to take over the world with a mind control device, and then it blows it up as it escapes. So yeah, a reoccurring villain this season, I guess, is an evil mind-controlling Pokemon? That's pretty cool. I hope the next episode it's in follows up on this. I'm finally interested in the X and Y plot point, so I hope it does. In Breaking Titles at...
Nico, he actually listened to what you said, yo-yo.
Yo, you're not from around here, yo.
Check out the legendary Riviera Walk, yo.
You should learn it if you're gonna be here, yo.
Do you think they're rapping?
No. No. In a Pokevision of things to come, the gang steal my thing by becoming YouTubers. No, seriously, Serena starts making videos on Pokevision, which is basically YouTube. Well, my advice, Serena, don't make long videos about children's anime. Trust me, it will destroy you physically and mentally. Like, comment, subscribe.
Pokevision refers to promotional videos created by trainers themselves.
Awesome! That sounds so cool! I wish I knew what that meant!
And going for the gold, the group help Rodman.
My name is Rodman.
Rodman, try to catch a legendary golden Magikarp. And coming back into the cold, the gang meet Alexa again as they try to save some fossil Pokemon from Team Rocket. And climbing the walls, Ash beats the second gym leader, Grant, getting his second badge. Ash met Grant and Viola back in that episode that,
Yo.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so I'll say two things that I like. This new Versus screen, they're pretty fire, and the animation for battles has actually gotten better. In fact, overall, for the series, it seems to have gotten much better than Black and White and Sinnoh were. So technical aspects of the show have improved, but that seems to be it.
A battle by any other name.
Oh shit, that's right, Serena exists. I haven't mentioned it, but I assume you've figured it out by maybe the few clips I've shown or just in general, that Serena has a crush on Ash. And this isn't like Misty or Dawn where it's implied that maybe they might be interested in him romantically. No, she straight up likes him. And in this episode, she gets a rival in love with Miette, and the two battle it out in a Pokepuff making contest. Epic. They both lose, but Miette promises if Serena doesn't tell Ash how she feels, then she will first. What a boss bitch. And to find a fairy flower, the group and Team Rocket disguise try to find a fairy flower for Flabebe so it can visit a dying person. Sag.
The bonds of evolution.
The Twerps meet Diantha, the Kalos champion, and witness Mega Evolution for the first time, as well as Keystones and Megastones, which lets Pokemon Mega Evolve. Cynthia or Diantha? Why not both? And heroes, friends, and foe alike, after another unsuccessful Pikachu stealing, Team Rocket say fuck it, and decide to dress up as the Twerps and act like assholes all around Anime Town, so they can eventually use one of Clement's devices to steal Pikachu. It's more complicated than it needs to be.
Mega Revelations.
On the road to Shalor City for the next gym, they happen to meet the gym leader of that town, Karina, who is trying to get 100 win streak with her Lucario. And after beating Ash, she's at number 99. She then explains once she wins her 100th battle, she will go to Geosenge Town so she can get her Lucario to Mega Evolve with the Lucario Knight. And thanks to a Team Rocket scheme, Karina wins her 100th battle, and the gang decide to travel with Karina to see Lucario Mega Evolve. Then in Cave of Trials, after clearing the trial set by her granddad, Karina gets the Lucario Knight, so now she can Mega Evolve. But in the Aura Storm, Lucario can't control all the new power it gets for Mega Evolving, going berserk whenever it does. So Karina, at her granddad's suggestion, goes to get a special training at the Pomace Mountains, and of course the Twerps go too. And calling from beyond the Aura, the gang gets separated and have to work together in odd pairs to find each other again. Alright, I used to like these episodes, now they're showing up way too often.
The bonds of Mega Evolution.
After arriving at whatever I said this place was called, Karina begins training with Mabel and her Mawile to learn to Mega Evolve by arranging flowers. How quaint. But it turns out spending time together enjoying nature instead of battling was just what they needed, as finally Karina can control Lucario in Mega form. So now with that done, she heads back to her gym. Wow, this sure was a fun 5-episode OVA about Karina. I don't know why, but these people were here, they didn't do anything. Isn't he supposed to be the main character, I think?
The Forest Champion.
While walking through the forest, the gang encounter a Hawlucha that acts like a superhero to the Pokemon of the forest, but it likes to showboat too much by striking poses, which ends up with the bad Pokemon getting away. Ash is into it and wants to help Hawlucha finish the battle while still keeping its flair, and after his help pays off, Hawlucha decides it wants to come with Ash. In Battles in the Sky, it's another one of those Ash enters his flying type in some sort of competition involving flying types and it evolves during it. A classic.
The Cave of Mirrors.
So you thought casual time travel in Pokemon was weird? How about casual alternate dimensions? Yeah. While going through Reflection Cave, Ash gets sucked into a mirror and is sent to a mirror dimension with, well, not evil versions of his friends, they're just sort of dicks. This season can't even do mirror dimensions right.
Our worlds are starting to move apart.
The sun is starting to set.
The two worlds are connected by our hopes and dreams.
What the fuck is happening anymore? In Foraging Forest Friendships, Hawlucha and Froakie perfect a team attack to save Ash from a Trevenant.
Summer of Discovery.
Okay, so remember that camp arc in Diamond and Pearl that was really boring? They decided to do another one. Yes, it's a summer camp run by Professor Sycamore. Unfortunately, there's some important stuff that happens in it. Like, for one, the gang meet the gang. The rivals? Or whatever they were from the games. Tierno, Shauna. I don't remember your name, I don't really care to.
Day 3 Blockbusters.
Oh yeah, Serena exists. And during summer camp, Shauna tells her about Pokemon showcases, and Serena starts taking an interest in them. I'll explain what they are when we get to them, but you've seen contests, so you can probably assume a general idea of what's going to happen. In Foggy Pokemon Orienteering, it's more camp. In Battling into the Hall of Fame, it's the end of camp. Well, at least it was short. In Origins of Mega Evolution, the gang arrive in Shalor City for Ash's gym battle, but before that, they learn the secret of Mega Evolution from an ancient scroll.
Rule 1. Early to bed and early to rise. Rule 2. Eat in moderation, even if it's delicious.
And it was too predictable to be funny. In Showdown at the Shalor Gym, in Splitting Airs,
Bonnie, you need to eat those veggies, please.
But I don't like these veggies at all.
But veggies are exceptionally nutritious.
I don't care. In The Clumsy Crier Quiets the Chaos, the group encounter a Pokemon Center with a Wigglytuff assistant that is new on the job, and it proves itself by calming a raging Salamence. This one was okay.
Dreaming a performer's dream.
Meeting up with Shauna again, the gang see their first Pokemon performance, and this inspires Serena to become a Pokemon performer herself, finally giving her a goal. That's when a wild Pancham comes on stage to have some fun, calling the performance off. Later, Serena sees the Pancham again and notices it just wants to perform on stage, so she decides to catch the Pancham, making it her first caught Pokemon.
A campus reunion.
So in this episode, we find out in school Clement abandoned a Shinx after being forced to attend something for nerds, and he meets up with it here now that it's evolved into a Luxio, and after Team Rocket stuff, the Luxio forgives him and Clement catches it. Okay. Then in Bonnie for the Defense, the gang return Lapras home to the ocean after some kids try to help it. That was the finale of the first season. I don't want to talk about it, let's move on.
Pathways to performance partnering.
Next season, Kalos Quest. The new theme song to Be a Hero is okay, it's better than the remix of the original.
Be a hero, all the power is at your command.
In this episode, Serena, while training for her first performance, meets Nene, a new rival. That's it.
An undersea place to call home.
Okay, so this is a weird reordering, as an undersea place called Home actually should have been aired back in the first season before Ash's second gym battle, but it was delayed for reasons I am not aware of. I really don't know why it was put off until now. It's about a Skrelp, and after the encounter with it, Ash develops a strategy to beat Grant's Onix, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey nonsense, just don't worry about it. And when Light and Dark collide, after accidentally injuring a Pokemon actor thinking an attack on a Snubbull was real, Ash and his Hawlucha fill in, co-starring with a shiny Hawlucha.
A stealthy challenge.
I told you he'd come back. And his Frogadier has evolved into a Greninja, and Ash decides to help him with a mission that is being disrupted by another ninja. And during this, Ash's Froakie evolves into a Frogadier. Hooray! In A Race for Home, oh yeah, Serena exists. Okay, I'll stop doing the joke, you get it. The gang run into Serena's mom, who if you remember is a Rhyhorn racer, and she thinks that's what Serena is training for, but we know she wants to be a performer, and after Serena tells her mom this, she doesn't take her seriously at all, and they have a race on Skiddo, and if Serena loses, she has to give up her journey, go home, and be forced to ride Rhydon.
Facing the grand design.
The gang run into the evil Malamar again, and its second appearance isn't as good. This time the Malamar has friends now, and they plan to use a device to change the environment of the world to suit them and no one else. What exactly does that mean? I don't know. But the Twerps, Team Rocket, and the Jenny who was hypnotized, who has been tracking Malamar since then, do put a stop to it. I'm going to assume this is building up to some big third or fourth confrontation, because otherwise this was okay. They do find out there are good Malamar out there, they aren't inherently evil, and James does contemplate releasing his Inkay, thinking it might also become evil when it evolves, but their bond proves stronger than any morality.
A slippery encounter.
I'm pretty sure I came across a Pokemon hentai with the same name while researching this. When walking along, a Goomy suddenly falls on Ash's head that seems dehydrated. After healing it and saving it from Team Rocket, the Goomy becomes Ash's Pokemon. Then, in One for the Goomy, Goomy being a dragon type, is afraid of fairy types like the Dene, and after facing Team Rocket together, they become friends. Hooray! And thawing in Icy Panic, the gang helped the worst Pokemon design. I'm kidding, it's not that bad, guys, calm down. Remember the one that was just a Pokeball? Also, Ash meets Ramos, the leader of the Coromine Gym. That's where they are right now. Then, in the green grass types of home, Ash battles Ramos and wins his 4th badge. And Under the Pledging Tree, it's an annual festival where people give presents to their Pokemon. So it's like, where's Christmas? Also, Ash gives Serena a gift, continuing to lead her on unknowingly. I forget which season it was, this one or the last one, where I called him a shonen protagonist. Well, now he's acting like a harem protagonist.
A showcase debut.
Okay, so now I'll explain a Pokemon Showcase performance. So, these are worst contests, basically. For one, they're sexist, as only girls can compete in them, unlike every other competition in the Pokemon world where anyone can enter. They are kind of similar to a beauty pageant more so than contests. They're broken down into 2 rounds. The first one can be anything, really. Baking, a quiz, styling, like this one. Then the second round is the same every time, a performance where the Pokemon use moves to dazzle the audience. It's basically what the first round of a Pokemon contest was. Unlike contests though, the audience votes on who wins. The goal is to win 3 Princess Keys by winning a showcase. Then you go to the Master Class, which is the Grand Festival type of event. Win that and you become the Kalos Queen. Showcases are fine, I guess. I like having a change of pace from battles anyway, so they work for that. And they do a great job of animating them too, but I hate how it's clearly trying to appeal to girls exclusively. Now yes, obviously I'm a grown man, so clearly something made to appeal to young girls is not going to be something I want to watch personally. But I mean, I like contests fine, probably because also anyone can enter them. And while it was clearly made to appeal to girls, me, a boy, could enjoy them, not just because other boys were in it, but it combined the fun of battling and raising your Pokemon with being more concerned about technique and appeal rather than strength. Here it's mostly about aesthetic, and from a viewer standpoint, that makes it harder to tell how well someone is doing, especially when the first round changes so much. Like, what does Rhyhorn wrangling judge about being a princess or whatever? What's the power scale here? So I like showcases visually, but that's about it. Also, yeah, let's talk about Serena, finally. She's not a bad character, she's just wasted potential. First, I really don't understand why they had her on her own for the first several episodes, since she just mates Ash and becomes the girl like usual. I thought when it started they were going to do some cool simultaneous storytelling for a while, where we'd cut back and forth between Ash and Serena's journeys, and they'd, eventually meet up, and we'd see, different characters and people referencing them and stuff, and, eventually the arcs would come together, and they'd see they have this past connection with each other, and they'd have, some bond that would help them overcome whatever is roadblocking them or whatever. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. And I guess I overthought that a lot. And her crush on Ash seems useless, other than her getting jealous of random girls that really don't have anything for him to just get close to him. And again, Ash and Winley leading her on, nothing really happens with it. Not like people like romance and shipping and stories, that extra drama or whatever. Sure, I can get into it too, but I think I would be more into it and more into Serena if she was more upfront about her crush on Ash. Think about it, outside of randos we've never seen again, there hasn't been a character that has actively romantically pursued Ash. And I think if she were more forward, it would lead to more interesting interactions, considering Ash is no Brock. He only thinks about battling and never really about girls, so I'd like to see how he'd react to that. I also think it would make Serena more interesting, as again, she's just kind of there right now. But okay, this episode does give her some development, I guess. As in her first showcase, she messes up with her Fennekin tripping during the first round, knocking her out of the competition. And she gets so dejected that instead of having an arc about this like the last 2 had, she just cuts her hair and changes her outfit, which, in my opinion, is the laziest way to convey that a character has changed. Wow, their physical appearance is different, therefore they're different, even though they're going to act the exact same way after this. I mean, I do like the outfit better, but I like the long hair more, so it's a mixed bag. I definitely think she is the girl so far with the least going on. I feel Misty being a gym leader with 3 bratty sisters was more engaging than Serena competing in pageants. But that's just me, and again, we're only halfway through the series, so she could warm up to me. But it's also been 60 episodes, and that hasn't happened yet. Anyway, after all that, the gang now begin their trek to Lumio City, as remember, Ash has 4 badges now, and it's time for his battle with Clement.
An oasis of hope.
Okay, look, I just talked a lot. The only thing that happens in this episode is Gumi evolves after fighting a Grumpig.
The future is now, thanks to determination.
Oh, that's a reference to a catchphrase Clement has. He always says, the future is now thanks to science, and he presents some dumb invention. It's like a running gag. I haven't mentioned it because it's not funny.
The future is now thanks to science. Climactic year on. I call it my no hard feelings fair and square lottery device.
After stopping a plot by Team Rocket to control all the electric Pokemon and shut down all the power to Lumio City, Clement's Luxio evolves, and then he decides to go to the gym ahead of them so he can train for the upcoming battle with Ash.
A fork in the road.
A parting of the ways.
Man, it definitely feels like it's been a while since we've had a Jessie episode, huh? Especially a more serious one. After another failed Pika capture, Jessie and her Wobbuffet get separated from James and Meowth and her Pumpkaboo. And after getting attacked by a Gloom, she is rescued by Dr. White, a smexy doctor living in the woods, I guess. That's sexy. He also has a Wobbuffet. The two hit it off, and Jessie decides life as a doctor's assistant might be better than a terrorist, by just a little bit. But when a Pokemon hunter steals Meowth and Pumpkaboo, she returns to help save the day by teaming up with the Twerps, declaring she's a strong, independent queen that don't need no man, just her friends and Team Rocket. mean, it's good to have some Team Rocket episodes again, especially considering their absence in Black and White. I still think the Blissey one back in Johto was Jesse's best episode, but this one's up there too. Top 3 Jesse episodes. Because I think there was only been 3, right?
I'll always be a member of Team Rocket. And I'll always have the greatest friends ever.
Battling with elegance and a big smile!
After a practice for the next showcase, Pancham and Fennekin fight, which gets Serena to blow up at them. Realizing they need a break, Serena goes into Anime Town and meets Arya. She was introduced a while ago, I just kind of forgot about her. She is the reigning Kalos Queen, so the best showcaser in the world, or whatever they're called. But she's disguised or something, so Serena doesn't recognize her, but Arya gives her a pep talk about bonding with Pokemon or something, and she makes up with Pancham and Fennekin. Then the two have a friendly Pokemon battle, and during it, Fennekin evolves into Braixen. Braixen?
Braixen.
And later, Serena realizes the thing that was obvious.
Good friends, great training!
The group meet Dancing Boy again. That's his thing. And Sliggoo evolves into Goodra. Wow, I wish my dragon types evolved this fast. In confronting the darkness, finally in Lumio City, it's battle time. Oh no, wait, Clembot gets arrested because it's being framed. I don't care. The actual battle happens in the moment of Lumio's truth, and I'll give him credit for hyping up the battle for a few episodes, but it's a standard gym battle, nothing really special about it. Ash wins and Clement rejoins them as the gang now head to Lavere City. Some of you might be wondering, how do I not remember how to pronounce... Some of you might be wondering, how do I not know how to pronounce the names of some of these things when I've seen the anime? Well, spoilers, it's been like half a year since I've seen this season. In Garchomp's Mega Bond, Professor Sycamore's Garchomp can now Mega Evolve. Do we really need a whole episode about that?
Defending the homeland!
So if you remember, Ash's Goodra just kinda fell from the sky one day. Well, in this episode we find out why. It used to live in a wetland, and everything was cool until the Florges attacked. It came because it wanted the special properties of a healing spring to itself, and during the war, Goodra was sent flying, landed on a Swana's back, and then, well, you know the rest. Even though thanks to Ash's encouragement, Goodra manages to beat the Florges, Team Rocket interrupts, forming an alliance with the Florges, and then they steal Pikachu and Dedenne. And, oh, this is a two-parter?
Beyond the rainbow!
So we learned the Florges took over the spring because it wanted to heal a Floette, but now the spring is drying up, mainly because of Team Rocket, who want to steal the water and sell it at a high price. That's when Goodra and Florges team up and send them blasting off again. Then seeing how happy Goodra is being home and that someone should stay and protect it, Ash leaves Goodra there. Not released, again, this is a Charizard Squirtle situation. He still owns it, it's still like part of his team, it's just there now. And so you're having a bad day. Taking one down. It's another separated, gotta find your friends thing. This time though, it's Meowth and Bonnie. It's not as entertaining as it sounds, could have been funnier. In Scary Hospitality, it's another ghost episode, we get 2-in-1 series.
A fashionable battle!
Arriving in that city I can't pronounce, the gang meets Sawyer, a new rival for Ash, who is a trainer from Hoenn, cause Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just came out. And Sawyer challenges the gym leader and loses, but up next is Ash. Then in Fairy-type Trickery, Ash manages to win his battle, getting his 6th, I think? I lost count. In Rivals Today and Tomorrow, more Sawyer stuff. His Trico evolves, and him and Ash form bonds and stuff. Then the gang learn a showcase will be in Dendemil Town, and the next gym is in Anastar City.
A not-so-flying start!
When the gang find a Pokemon egg, it hatches into a Noivern that Ash manages to catch. That's it.
How are we gonna make Noibat evolve already?
We don't need to use a stone or wait for a certain time to make it evolve, right? Tell me it's not one of those annoying Pokemon. Maybe we could just turn it upside down.
Damn, Jesse's spitting facts. In a Relay in the Sky, another flying type competition, no thanks. Okay, you know what? I actually kind of liked a Frenzied Factory fiasco. When visiting the Pokeball factory, Team Rocket manages to steal all the Pokemon and lock the group in a storeroom. Except for Pikachu, it's the only one to get free, and now it has to save everyone by himself. I like seeing Pikachu try to deal with Team Rocket all by himself. It made the usual Team Rocket scheme feel a bit more fresh. In Performing with Fiery Charm, Serena competes in her next showcase with Miette returning, and also Jessie's participating as well, I don't think I mentioned that. And Serena wins this one. Cool. I will say I kind of like Miette and how she teases Serena about her crush. It's fun. She's kind of a fun character.
Now hear this! We are going to settle things once and for all, and then Remember, I told you I might have a chat with Ash.
And Rotom's Wish, another casual time travel episode, where Rotom sends the gang back in time, because Rotom can do that, I guess, to change the future by helping some guy win a Pokemon battle to keep his hotel. And these kids really need to stop going back in time and fucking with the past. This is why certain things aren't right when they come back. Is this why we haven't seen Ash's dad? Have they just erased him from the timeline just by coincidence?
A festival trade!
A festival farewell?
So interestingly, I think this is the first episode in Pokemon that has some kind of holiday that's like Halloween. In it, a Count sees his Pumpkaboo like Jessie's, and she uses this to trick him into rescuing her Pikachu from some evil twerps that stole it. When he rescues Pikachu, who is actually Chespin in a costume, Jessie reluctantly agrees to trade her Pumpkaboo for Pikachu. But when it evolves due to the trade into a Gourgeist, he doesn't want it anymore. And now Jessie has a new Gourgeist. Also, yeah, the twerps get Chespin back. And over the mountain of snow, they do that with some Mamoswine. Aw man, Mamoswine, I miss Dawn. In Adventures in Running Errands, okay, I guess this is a thing in Japan, that letting a kid do their first errand is like a big deal, because there are so many anime episodes like this, and spoilers, this is not the only one Pokemon will do. In this one, Clement sends Chespin and Bunnelby to get a fuse so he can fix a fuse box at a Pokemon Center, and the two get in all sorts of adventures. And it's cute, I liked it. In Mending a Broken Spirit, Serena's breaks her magic stick, and they have to repair it. Who cares?
A legendary photo op!
No, Todd doesn't come back in these picture episodes, he's dead, get over it. But it's a similar concept to when we saw him with Articuno. In this one, the gang meet up with... what was his name again? Who wants to take a picture of Moltres, and they find it really easily. But it's mad thanks to Team Rocket, and when trying to calm it down, Ash's Fletchinder evolves into Talonflame. In The Tiny Caretaker... oh, it's a Bonnie episode. Look, I don't dislike Bonnie in terms of little kid characters. She's better than the other one. But she also really doesn't matter, so... In A Trip Down Memory Train, we learn the origin story of how Clement caught his Buttlebee. Again, I don't care.
A frolicking find in the flowers!
Traveling in a field, Serena finds an Eevee that seems to love to dance, so she decides it would be the perfect Pokemon for her performances, and she catches it. Done and done. In Tag Team Battle Inspiration, the group arrive in Anastar City, and they meet Tierno and Shauna again, and it's the boys versus the girls. They have a double battle. The only notes I have for this episode are nothing really happens here. That's all I wrote. In a performance pop quiz, see, I told you they had to play Jeopardy! Serena enters her next showcase along with Nene. Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. Shauna and Jessie are in it too. Luckily, Serena has all the useless trivia knowledge, and she gets her second key. Wow, she just started and already is halfway toward her goal. How boring.
Cloudy fate, bright future!
I saw disaster approaching soon, and your fates are all connected to that threat.
Okay, I get what they're going for with Olympia's voice acting. I don't agree with it.
That is correct. The vision that occurred showed me your Frogadier is a Pokémon with a curious fate.
Yes, the gang meet the 7th gym leader. We're at 7 already? And we're 92 episodes in, man. Nothing has happened. Anyway, Olympia can see into the future and sees in Ashes a strange future involving his Frogadier. As well as the future of Kalos, and all of his friends in Team Rocket will play a big role in saving it. Then in All Eyes on the Future, Ash beats Olympia, winning his 7th badge. In Lights, Camera, Pika, the group help a guy make a movie with all Pikachu, using Ashes. It's fun, I do like they show a blooper reel at the end. I love when animated productions do bloopers, it's fun. Also, this is another episode out of order in the dub, but this one doesn't really matter that much. So if you can't tell, I'm not enjoying this season. Again, it's so boring. Ash has nothing going on besides getting badges. Serena is a wasted character that has no personality. Clement is supposed to be the funny one, but I haven't laughed once at anything he's done. I never mentioned it, but there is a running joke where he makes dumb inventions that usually don't work properly, and Ash is all amazed by it, but the girls are like, oh, skeptical. It's very funny, haha. Other than that, I do not have much to say about him. I guess he's had the most development with his confidence getting built up after meeting Ash and reclaiming his gym, so technically he's the best developed character. But like I said, is not as annoying as Max. I actually don't mind her, at least. I mean, one of the reasons is that she's keeping the spirit of Brock alive, in a way, sort of. Just again, she's got nothing going on, really, and has no reason to be there. Well, she's about to.
From A to Z!
Alright, so pretty quickly, we're in the last season of X and Y, XYZ. The new theme, Stand Tall, I don't like. It's kind of like a sports chant, but I don't know about that. The beat or something just doesn't appeal to me.
I stand tall 'cause I know I'm a winner. Knock me down, I'll just get up again.
Also, does anyone else think when they scream "Gotta catch 'em all" it just sounds really bad?
Pokémon, Pokémon, gotta catch 'em all.
Bonnie finds a strange green creature in her bag that she names Squishy. Then Sawyer shows up again. Okay. That's when Team Flare shows up, the evil team for this gen, who I honestly hate as much as Galactic. There's no difference to me. Maybe this one's worse. But yeah, they want Squishy, but the gang beats them, sending them away. That's when Sawyer tells them to check out Terminus Cave on the way to Snowbell City for Ash's last gym. And Squishy seems like it really wants to go to Terminus Cave, so they agree. And so the gang head off to see Terminus Cave with... Is that a lawn? Oh no, I'm gonna have to explain the specials? Fuck me. And Love Strikes, Eevee Yikes, I kinda like that one. A wild Quilladin gets a crush on Serena's Eevee, until it gets hot for a Flareon. In a Giga battle with Mega results, the group meet Professor Sycamore again at the Pokemon Center so they can find out what's up with Squishy. Also, a Nurse Joy's Audino Mega evolves, which to be honest is a Mega evolution I completely forgot about.
A fiery rite of passage!
I don't know why, but when watching this, I must have been really tired. That made me laugh so hard, like, uncontrollably. In Dream a Little Dream of Me, Inception Pokemon Edition Part 2. That's the episode. It's all a dream by Darkrai. Doesn't matter.
The green slime can talk too! My, does that astonish you? You who is able to speak as well? Hey, I've been speaking a long time!
In The Legend of the Ninja Hero, the group meets Sanpei again at his ninja village. It's better than Boruto.
A festival of decisions!
Oh, we're still in the ninja village, and another ninja clan attacks them and kidnaps the Hokage. This is Boruto. When helping them, Ash's Frogadier evolves into Greninja, and during the fight with the ninjas, it seems Greninja gets a strange sort of power boost. In a dancing debut in the next showcase, Jessie wins it. Good for her.
Meeting at Terminus Cave!
After arriving at the Terminus Cave, Team Flare is there to catch Squishy, but it merges with a bunch of other Squishies to become a good boy. Thanks to, again, a strange power from Greninja, the group are able to send Team Flare packing, but now Squishy is out there, alone. How will they ever find it? Oh, look, Squishy is back in a cellular connection. It's just in Bonnie's bag now, okay. In a windswept encounter, Ash's Noibat starts beef with a Breloom.
Party Dancecapades!
Please, Ash, it would be so nice if you would be my date.
Sure, no problem.
See what I mean? She's more interesting when she's more upfront with her crush with Ash. That was the only time in this anime Serena got a laugh out of me and I didn't find her boring. I wish there was more of that. After meeting up with Miette again, the gang go to a fancy party where during a double battle, Serena's Eevee evolves into Sylveon. Also, Arya is there and starts talking up Serena to a showcase judge named Palermo.
A meeting of two journeys!
Okay, so... remember sometimes I would talk about these specials every now and then, very rarely? These are, as I said, specials or OVAs, whatever you want to call them. Most of, if not all of them, are canon. Some would focus on tertiary characters of the past, like Richie or Casey, some of which would be crammed together in the Pokemon Chronicles series. Or they would be episodes showing Ash's companions after the main journey and what they got up to after that. I did not talk about these because A, they are not considered by any website I found that documented the Pokemon episodes to be a part of the main series. And 2, this is about Ash, you know, Mr. Catch Them and his journey, and while I like some of those characters, he's not the focus of those episodes, so I left him out. This includes the Mega Evolution specials that I left out that Alon was introduced in. During the run of X and Y, they aired the Mega Evolution specials that starred Alon, and yes, that's how you pronounce his name, it's Alon. Now, I'm not going to explain any of Alon's backstory, though. It is important, and it ties into this season, especially the ending, but the reason I'm not explaining it is because it's not in the main anime series. Despite it being so important, his connection to the main villain, Professor Sycamore, and the concept of Mega Evolution, how much of a pivotal role he plays in the upcoming events, and how much the characters from the specials intertwine with the main cast, it still wasn't important enough to be part of the main narrative. We had time for Serena doing nothing for 60 episodes. We had time for episodes like that one where they would copy and paste from past ones, or Karina's arc, or the summer camp arc. But the makers of the anime felt it unnecessary to cut 4 episodes just so we can see Alon's story, this character that plays such an important role going forward. Instead of this one where he just shows up. I mean, he does show up in a flashback in the series, but that's it. And it's a shame, really, because I legitimately think Alon is one of the best characters in the Pokemon anime, with a very interesting backstory and side characters of his own. But the anime didn't think it was important. Like, these specials are not even included in home DVD releases of the X and Y anime, and if you watch the series on a streaming service like I did, you will not see the specials even listed as part of the main series. And this to me is why Pokemon the series X and Y is the worst season of Pokemon I've seen so far. While I did not like Black and White because it was boring and uninspired, there were still episodes I liked, and it told the entire story in its own episodes without any need for additional watching material. I can forgive X and Y for being boring, but the fact that I have to go out of my way to watch something that will give me context to a central character in the main plot is something I do not like. Yes, I can easily watch them on a pirating site or something, and it wouldn't take that long to watch or explain them to you. Honestly, the explanation of the specials would be shorter than this rant. The point is, the makers of the anime thought the story of Chespin getting fat was more important than a complex character whose backstory ties into the main villains of this season and its brand new mechanic, so why should I care? So yes, if I haven't made it abundantly clear now, I do not like X and Y. The only 2 things I will say this season has above all the others is the voice acting has gotten much better, and the usual cast they have do a good job portraying their characters, except for Olympia. Seriously, what was that? And this is the best animated season of Pokemon so far. The animators have definitely stepped up, and it's probably the best looking one. That's all it's got. It looks and sounds good. Everything else sucks. It's got boring and sloppy writing, uninteresting characters, I'm including Ash in that, basic plots for episodes that would have only flown if they weren't 900 episodes in, and it's not even funny. The reason I think Diamond and Pearl is the best season so far is that it felt complete. From the beginning, it sets up all the main characters, their rivals, where they stand with each other, how strong each of them are, the main goals of our heroes. The villains, okay, well, they mostly sucked. But by the end, you can tell they knew where they were going to go when they started the season. You could tell they had it all planned out since episode 1. It seemed like they were going to do something similar in Black and White, but that unfortunately fell off due to reasons outside of their control. But what's X and Y's excuse? And really, I want to end this season recap here because I've kind of said all I wanted to say about it by really not saying anything this whole series. I understand some people have been frustrated that I'm breezing over episodes that might be their favorite, or have some interesting story that I don't acknowledge due to some important plot point or whatever. As you saw with Diamond and Pearl, and even sometimes in the original series, Johto and Ruby and Sapphire, if there is something interesting, something deep, something funny, I will call it out. And the reason X and Y, and Black and White to an extent, are so short is because the episodes really are nothing. Pokemon's formula just isn't entertaining anymore, it's gotten stale, and adding the weird narrative choices that X and Y has just muddled it more. Remember, we're over 900 episodes into an anime now. I have seen the same concept for episodes multiple times. I've heard Team Rocket blast off hundreds of times, the same running gags hundreds of times, Pikachu's Thunderbolt hundreds of times, Brock getting cucked and blue-balled hundreds of times. And I can tell you, despite that, I've never been more bored, annoyed, and insulted, okay, maybe that's too far, than watching Pokemon X and Y. I haven't even talked about this episode yet. Ash meets Alon for the first time, and also Sawyer again. Who cares? Why does he keep showing up? And no, sorry, I do not care about Ash Greninja. Even when I first heard about it, I thought the concept was stupid, and after watching it, I still think it's stupid. So with all that said, I'm going to speedrun the rest of this season, okay? Because nothing it can do by this point, after being 100 episodes in, is going to change my mind, really. In an explosive operation, Team Rocket tries to steal a Zygarde, but Team Flare gets it first with Alon, who's helping them. Also, Bonnie sings a terrible song, and I'll be damned if you aren't forced to listen to it too, like I was.
Squishy and me nuzzling cheeks, best friends forever, we're so happy. Sweet little Squishy, here's my song for you. My sweet Squishy, that's you.
In a watershed moment, it's about a chestnut and a robot. In Masterclass Choices, Serena gets her last key and can now go to whatever the last competition is called, I don't remember. In an electrifying rage, a Zapdos shows up and Ash's Noibat evolves into Noivern. In Unlocking Some Respect, a boring story about a locksmith with his apprentice. In Masterclass is in Session, yes, we are at the finale of Serena's story already as she enters the Masterclass, that's what it's called. Damn, man, it's only 2 parts? Yeah, we get the finale to Serena's story and performing a pathway to the future, where Serena comes in second, which I feel for her first time is a bit too high. She should have placed lower, but whatever, Dawn got second, I guess. And a keeper for keeps, whoa, the tables are turned when a girl actually likes Clement and Bonnie doesn't like that one bit. In battling at full volume, a trainer who uses a Pikachu is going around fighting all the strongest Pikachu trainers, and now he wants to fight Ash. But he's sick, and instead of telling the guy he's sick and to come back later, Serena decides to dress up as Ash so he can battle the guy? What? Stupid logic aside, I said I'd admit if an episode was interesting or something, and yeah, this one was alright. I especially like the crazy rocker trainer, and Serena's impression of Ash was pretty fun to watch.
You just wait! When it comes to what I can do, you haven't seen anything! Oh my gosh! I can't believe it worked!
In the synchronicity test, they meet Alon again and test out how to retain Ash Greninja. In making friends and influencing villains, Team Rocket try to steal a shiny Phantom. In championing a research battle, Ash battles Diantha again to again figure out Ash Greninja. In a full-strength battle surprise, Ash battles Sawyer again and loses and can no longer activate Ash Greninja. You don't know how much it pains me to have to say Ash Greninja so many times in a row. In All Hail the Ice Battlefield, Ash challenges the final gym and loses. And he takes it really seriously for some reason. Dude, you lost to the first gym and many before, who cares? You lose all the time. Oh, it's because he feel bad he couldn't activate Ash Greninja, I think? Which, by the way, this is the first time they actually used that term in the anime.
I wonder if we'll see Ash Greninja today. What's an Ash Greninja?
I've never heard of that.
That's the name I made up for when Greninjas changed.
Yeah, that name always sounded like a little kid came up with it. In seeing the forest for the trees, Ash, after spending some time alone, figures something out, I guess, and is able to use Ash Greninja anytime now. And again, I'll admit there was a moment I liked at the end of this episode where Greninja recreated the time Ash caught him. That was cute.
The Ash I know is full of energy. He's a leader, always tries his best. He's always positive, and he never gives up. He hangs in there till the very end. You're not acting like the Ash I know!
I agree, Serena. One second he's the most positive dude ever, then the next he gets depression over one loss. Like, he doesn't feel like a character anymore. He feels like something they mesh to fit whatever arc they want him to go on. No, since X and Y is all about going back to Kanto, did I ever talk about how fucking savage OG Ash was? Seriously, back in Kanto and Johto, this kid gave no fucks. He went off on people.
Put that slimy thing back in the Pokeball! Bugs are one of the 3 most disgusting things in the world!
Aside from you, what are the other disgusting things?
My father.
Huh? You mean you're the good-for-nothing father who left home and never came back?
I hate the way she treats us, but I like the way she looks.
Yeah, not like some other girls who treat you bad and look even worse.
All I think about lately is winning. I hope I'm not becoming heartless.
You were always heartless.
As if your sense of direction's so bad you can't find yourself in a mirror.
You crack mirrors!
My picture's gonna be on posters when I'm a big famous star.
Huh?
Excuse me?
Maybe in horror movies.
Pikachu.
Now we'll see who gets the last quack.
Ha! Anyway, Psyduck and I are so cute we'll look good whatever fashion we wear.
I'm sure Psyduck will.
If you leave it here overnight, I'm sure it'll be fine in the morning.
Miss? Excuse me, but are you by any chance the oddball in your family?
I wasn't asking about your camera. I was worried about you.
But you see, this camera is my life.
Get yourself a new life. I don't see any beautiful girl.
Just turn around.
Misty, please, only one of us can hallucinate at a time. The Electabuzz couldn't beat an egg.
Oh, yeah? And what about all the great hitters that are on the Electabuzz?
Those guys aren't hitters. I've seen better swings on a playground.
God, I miss my boy. In a real icebreaker, Ash rematches What's-His-Name and wins his final badge. I don't mean just for Kalos, I mean overall, this is the last gym battle Ash has in the anime. Officially. I wish I cared enough to describe it to you since it is such a milestone, but I'm almost free. In a Diamond in the Rough, Ash sees Gudra again. Also Alon, after hearing from Ash that strong trainers will be at the Lumiose conference, the league of the season, he's gone off and earned his own 8 badges. Pretty fast, that was barely 10 episodes, my guy. In a gaggle of gadget greatness, Clement nerds out about a gadget festival. Nerd. In a league of his own, the Kalos League starts. Invaluable experience for all, Ash, Sawyer, and Alon all make it to the semifinals. In Analysis vs. Passion, Ash and Sawyer begin a full 6-on-6 battle, which you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that has not happened since Ash vs. Paul. God, would I have to be reminded of a good rivalry. In a riveting rivalry, Ash beats Sawyer, and for the first time in his career makes it to the finals of a league. In Kalos League, Passion with a certain flair, while preparing for the final battle of Ash vs. Alon, Ash meets Lysander, the leader of Team Flare, though he doesn't know it, and he has plans for Ash, I guess. Also, Sycamore explains Ash Greninja with it being something called a bond phenomenon, something so rare we will never see it again. Also, we see Marin. You know Marin from the specials? The And finals not for the faint-hearted, Ash begins his battle with Alon. Then in Down to the Fiery Finish, Ash loses to Alon, as he takes the whole thing, but then Team Flare starts the endgame. In a towering takeover, Team Flare unleashes Zygarde, covering Lumiose in vines, as Lysander wants to create a new world, and only the chosen ones will join them. Wow, I feel like we should get some backstory to that. Lysander then captures Ash, and Squishy turns out to be a Zygarde? No way! And coming apart at the dreams, whoa, Alon was tricked into gathering Mega Evolution energy this whole time? He seems really upset about it. Wish I knew why or what that stuff is. Then Ash's entourage and Team Rocket set out to help Marin rescue Chespy. Who's Chespy? Wish I knew who that was. Ash is freed and him and Alon team up. In the right hero for the right job, while Ash and Alon battle Lysander, Clement destroys the machine controlling the one Zygarde, killing Clembot in the process. R.I.P. Serena's group manages to rescue Chespy, and Steven shows up. Yes, Steven. From Hoenn. I mean, you obviously know why if you've seen the specials. Then Bonnie frees Squishy from Team Flare's mind control by singing that awful song again.
We're so happy. I promise I'll never leave Squishy.
In rocking Kalos' defenses, Ash and Alon defeat Lysander. Or do they? Because then Chespy gets absorbed into the giant rock. It was introduced in Special 2, obviously. Come on, you all know the giant rock. And it's now heading toward a sundial in Anastar City that will explode and destroy the world? Well, that got out of hand fast. But then in a cool moment, everyone shows up to help, not just Ash and his friends, but also the champion Diantha and all the gym leaders. Finally, when the region's in danger, they all finally got off their asses and helped during the world-ending crisis. It's about time one of them did. And forming a more perfect union, the gang really beat Lysander this time and rescued Chespy. Hooray! I was so invested. And so the day is saved. Okay, again, I will admit, in terms of a finale, and especially one to an evil team plot in Pokemon, this one was pretty hype. Everyone coming together at the end was pretty cool to see and really made it feel like a final battle. I just wish so much of the details of Team Flare's plans and what some characters' motivations were and, some major plot points weren't hidden in a not easy to watch OVA. In Battling with a Clean Slate, it's an epilogue showing what everyone will be doing. Ash, of course, is going home to Kanto, Clement and Bonnie are staying in Lumiose, Clement even rebuilds Clembot, death means nothing, and Serena is considering taking an offer of Palermo, the person I mentioned before that gave her earlier that I never mentioned. Then in the first day of the rest of your life, we find out that Serena actually decides to go to Hoenn to compete in contest. Wish we could have seen that arc. And facing the needs of the many, it seems some remnants of those vines from Team Flare's plot are still around, so Ash decides to release Greninja so we can protect Kalos from them, along with Squishy and the other Zygarde, as Bonnie also promises to go on an adventure with Squishy when she becomes a trainer. And now, finally, last episode of Pokemon X and Y.
Till we compete again!
It's time to say goodbyes. Team Rocket head back to HQ. Serena leaves for Hoenn so she can... Wish we were that courageous the whole time. Alon is traveling around, I guess. Clement and Bonnie stay in their hometown. And of course, Ash heads back to Pallet Town. So yeah, what more can I say? I did not like this season. It sucked. I will say again, I did find the ending to be pretty fire, no pun intended. But a good ending for me does not make up the last 100-something episodes I had to watch to get to it. It really seems like Pokemon has stagnated, much like the games. The anime at this point needs some new and fresh ideas to just really reinvigorate it. Because I swear, if the next 2 seasons are more of Ash going on a journey and Team Rocket and all the same kind of episodes we got before, well, this video might end sooner than I thought. Well, let's find out in the penultimate series, Pokemon the series Sun and Moon.
Nothing's gonna stand in our way. Stronger and stronger, we'll rise to the challenge of
Alola to new adventure!